Hi dear students, welcome back to online classes. I am Gurupaksh BP. In last video, we were discussing about methods to express the concentration of solutions. Methods to express the concentration of solutions. Concentration of solutions. Here, 7 methods are given to your syllabus. In last video, we have already discussed 3 methods. Here, the first method is mass percentage. What is mass percentage? The mass of solute in grams dissolved in 100 gram of solution is called mass percentage. Here, the second method is volume percentage. What is volume percentage? The volume of solute in cubic centimeter is dissolved in 100 cubic centimeter of solution is called volume percentage. Next, the third method is mass by volume percentage. What is mass by volume percentage? The mass of solute in gram dissolved in 100 cubic centimeter of solution is called mass by volume percentage. Now let us discuss about the fourth method. Here the fourth method is parts per billion. Parts per million. Here parts per million is simply represented as ppm. When very small quantity of solute is present in the solution, then use this unit to express concentration of solution. Now let us discuss what is parts per million. The number of parts of solute dissolved in 1 million parts of solution is called parts per million. Here the total solution is considered to 1 million parts. Okay, now I will write definition here. The number of parts of solute dissolved in 1 million parts of solution. 1 million parts of solution is called parts per million. Now let us write a formula to calculate the parts per million. Here the parts per million is equal to number of parts of solute, divided by number of parts of all components in the solution. Number of parts of all components in the solution into 10 power 6. Why? Because 1 million. Here the total mass, the total solution is considered to 1 million parts. That's why here you have to write 10 power 6, not 100. Okay. Next, here let us write when trace quantity of solute present in the solution, then the concentration of solution is expressed in terms of ppm. When trace quantities means very small quantities. Trace quantities of solute is present in the solution. Then the concentration of solution is expressed in terms of ppm. The concentration of solution is expressed in terms of ppm. Now let us see one example. The concentration of pollutants in water or atmosphere is expressed in terms of ppm. Concentration of pollutants in water or atmosphere is expressed in terms of ppm. Here, when you have to use this unit, when very small quantity of solute is present in the solution, then the concentration of solution must be expressed in terms of ppm. For example, the concentration of pollutants in water or atmosphere. Here, very small quantity of pollutants are present in the water or atmosphere. That's why here the concentration of pollutants is expressed in terms of ppm. Now let us discuss the next point. Here, parts per million can also be expressed as mass to mass, volume to volume, mass to volume. Here, parts per million can also be represented as a mass to mass, volume to volume, and mass to volume. Now let us write a formula to calculate parts per million by mass and by volume and by mass to volume. Here the first formula, ppm of substance by mass is equal to mass of solute in grams, divided by mass of solution in grams into 10 power 6, not 100, because here the total solution is considered to 1 million parts. That's why here you need to write 10 power 6. Next, let us write formula for ppm of substance by volume. Here, volume of solute, the volume of solute in cubic centimeter divided by volume of solution in cubic centimeter into 10 power 6. Next, ppm of substance by mass by volume. ppm of substance by mass by volume. Here let us write mass of solute in grams, divided by volume of solution in cubic centimeter. Volume of solution in cubic centimeter into 10 power 6. Okay, by using these formulas we can easily calculate the parts per million. What is parts per million? The number of parts of solute dissolved in 1 million parts of solution. Here the total solution is considered to 1 million parts. Next, let us discuss about fifth method. Here the fifth method is a mole fraction. Here mole fraction is represented by Greek letter. What is a mole fraction? The ratio of the number of moles of a particular component to total number of moles present in the solution is called a mole fraction. Here I will write definition. The ratio of number of moles of a particular component to total number of moles. Present in the solution. is called a mole fraction. Now let us write a mathematical expression for mole fraction. Here mole fraction is equal to number of moles of a particular component divided by total number of moles present in the solution. Number of moles of component divided by total number of moles. By using this formula, we can easily calculate the mole fraction of any component in the given solution. For example, let us consider a solution of two gases. Here in this solution, there are two gases, A gas and B gas. In this solution, let us consider the number of moles of A gas is Na. Number of moles of B gas is Nb. In this solution, if you want to calculate mole fraction of A, then let us write mathematical expression here. The mole fraction of A component is equal to, according to the mathematical expression, the number of moles of a particular component. Here in this solution, you are going to calculate mole fraction of A component. That's why here you write the number of moles of A. Number of moles of A gas in the solution is equal to Na divided by total number of moles. Total number of moles means you have to add number of moles of A gas and number of moles of B gas. Here number of moles of A gas is equal to Na. Next plus number of moles of B gas is equal to Nb. This is the mathematical expression to calculate mole fraction of A component in the solution of AB gas. Next let us write mole fraction mathematical expression for B component. Mole fraction of B is equal to number of moles of B is divided by Na plus Nb. The next point, the sum of mole fraction of all the components in the solution is always equal to 1. Here the sum of mole fraction of all the components is equal to 1. Sum of, this point is very important, the sum of mole fraction of all components is unity. Sum of mole fraction of all components is unity. That's why here in this solution there are two gases, two components. One is A component, another one is B component. The sum of mole fraction of A component and mole fraction of B component is equal to 1. Mole fraction of A plus mole fraction of B is equal to 1. Here in this case, if we know mole fraction of A, then we can easily calculate mole fraction of B just by rearranging this equation. We can rearrange like this. Mole fraction of B is equal to 1 minus mole fraction of A. By using this mathematical expression, we can easily calculate mole fraction of B when mole fraction of A is known. Next here, mole fraction has no units. Mole fraction has no unit. Next point, mole fraction is independent on temperature. Mole fraction is independent on temperature. Independent on temperature, that means here the values of mole fractions does not change with change in temperature. Next let us discuss about the sixth method. Here the sixth method is molarity. Molarity. Molarity is represented by capital M. What is molarity? The number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 liter of the solution is called molarity. Here I will write definition. The number of moles of solute, dissolved in 1 liter or 1 cubic decimeter of the solution is called molarity. Now let us write a mathematical expression for molarity. Molarity is equal to number of moles of solute divided by number of moles of solute divided by volume of solution in liter. Volume of solution in liter. Now let us write molarity is equal to, here number of moles of solute is represented by small n divided by, here volume of solution is represented by V. Here volume of solution is in liters. Okay, this is the main formula to calculate molarity of solution. Now, in the question, if number of moles and volume of solution is given in liter, then use this formula. If mass of solute and volume of solution is given in milliliter, then you have to rearrange this equation. Why? Because if mass of solute is given, then you have to convert from mass of solute into number of moles of solute. Here now let us just rearrange this equation. Molarity is equal to, if mass of solute is given, then what is the formula to calculate number of moles? Given mass of solute divided by molar mass of solute. Mass of solute divided by molar mass of solute into, here if volume is given in milliliter, then you just write this one 1000 divided by volume of solution in milliliter. This is the formula, second formula to calculate molarity. Use this formula when mass of solute is given and when volume of solution is given in milliliter. Next let us discuss about units of molarity. Here units of molarity is mole per liter. Why? Because the number of moles of solute we measure in moles. Here volume of solution we measure in liters. That's why the unit is mole per liter. Next, here molarity is dependent on temperature. Molarity is dependent on temperature. Why it is dependent on temperature? Because here molarity is a volume related method. Here molarity is inversely proportional to volume of solution. So here molarity is inversely proportional to volume of solution. Now tell me what is the relation between volume and temperature. Here volume is directly proportional to temperature. Then if temperature increases, then volume increases or decreases. Here volume also increases. If volume increases, what about molarity values? Here molarity will decreases. So here as temperature increases, volume increases. As volume increases, molarity values decreases. Here molarity is dependent on temperature. Next let us solve one question here. What is the meaning of 0.25 mole per liter or 0.25 molarity solution of sodium chloride? Here now tell me what is the meaning of 0.25 mole per liter, or we can represent like this also, 0.25 capital M. Capital M means molarity. Solution of sodium chloride is what? Here according to the definition, the number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 liter of solution. Here volume of solution is fixed. The volume of solution is what? 1 liter. So now let us write here 0.25 mole per liter. That means 0.25 moles of solute is dissolved in 1 liter of solution. Here what is the solute here? The solute is sodium chloride. So let us write 0.25 moles of sodium chloride is present in 1 liter of solution. 1 liter of solution. This is the meaning of 0.25 mole per liter solution of sodium chloride. Next, let us discuss about seventh method. Here the seventh method is molality. Molality. Here, molality is represented by small m. Don't confuse here. Molality is represented by small m. Molarity is represented by capital M. Now let us discuss what is molality. The number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 kg of solvent is called molality. Then what is molarity? The number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 liter of solution is called molarity. Here 1 kg of solvent is called molality. Okay, now here I will write definition. The number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 kg of solvent. 1 kg of solvent is called molality. Now let us write a mathematical expression for molality. Molality is equal to number of moles of solute divided by mass of solvent in kg. Mass of solvent in kg. Here now let us write molarity is equal to number of moles of solute is represented by small m. Next here mass of solvent is represented by W2. It is represented by W2. Here the mass of solvent is in kg. This is the main formula to calculate the molality of solution. Here in the question, if number of moles and if mass of solvent is given in kg, then use this formula to calculate molality of solution. Suppose in the question, if mass of solute and the mass of solvent is given in grams, then we have to rearrange this equation. Now let us rearrange this equation. Molarity is equal to, if mass of solute is given in the question, then you have to convert mass of solute into number of moles of solute. Then what is the formula to calculate number of moles of solute? Given mass of solute divided by molar mass of solute. Now here I will write the mass of solute divided by molar mass of solute. Molar mass of solute into, here if mass of solvent is given in grams, then just you write like this: 1000 divided by mass of solvent in grams. This is the second formula to calculate molality. Now let us discuss the unit of molality. Unit of molality is equal to mole per kg. Why? Because here number of moles of solute present in 1 kg of solvent. That's why here unit is mole per kg. Mole per kg. Then what is the unit of molarity? The unit of molarity is mole per liter. Here unit of molality is mole per kg. Next here let us discuss next point here. What is the relation between molality and temperature? Here this is a mass related method. This is mass related method. That's why here molality is independent on temperature. Molality is independent on temperature. Next let us solve one numerical based on molality here. The first one, what is the meaning of 0.25 mole per kg or We can represent like this also. 0.25 molarity. Here small m it represents their concentration is expressed in terms of molarity. If here capital M is there, then here the concentration of solution is expressed in terms of molarity. Here 0.25 molarity solution of sodium chloride. Here what is the meaning of this concentration? Here according to the definition we can easily write a meaning of 0.25 mole per kg solution of sodium chloride. Here the number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 kg of solvent. That means here 0.25 moles of sodium chloride is present in 1 kg of solvent, not 1 kg of solution. Here because according to the definition we consider solvent, not solution. Here let us write meaning 0.25 moles of sodium chloride is present in 1 kg of solvent. 1 kg of solvent. Okay, these are the 7 methods to express the concentration of solutions. Next, let us solve some numericals based on concentration terms. Here the first numerical. In this question, calculate the molarity of a solution containing 5 gram of NaOH in 450 ml of solution. Here to solve this question, first let us write the given data. Here mass of NaOH is given. The mass of NaOH is equal to 5 grams. And here the volume of solution is given. What is the volume of solution here? 450 milliliter. Volume of solution is equal to 450 ml. Now tell me what you have to calculate here? We have to calculate molarity. So capital M is equal to question mark. Now tell me which formula you have to use here to calculate molarity. First formula or second formula? Here mass of solute is given and here volume of solution also given in milliliter. That's why we have to use the second formula. Here what is the second formula? Molarity is equal to mass of solute. Mass of solute means mass of sodium hydroxide. Mass of sodium hydroxide divided by molar mass of solute. Molar mass of solute means molar mass of sodium hydroxide. Molar mass of sodium hydroxide into 1000 divided by volume of solution in milliliter. Volume of solution in milliliter. Now let us substitute the values here. Mass of sodium hydroxide is given. The mass of sodium hydroxide is 5 grams. Divided by what is the molar mass of sodium hydroxide? Here let us calculate sodium hydroxide. Sodium means what? 23 plus oxygen means 16 plus 1. It is 40 grams. Next into 1000 divided by what is the volume of solution in milliliter? 450 milliliters. Just you simplify this one. If you simplify this one, you will get nearly 0.278 molarity, or we can represent like this also, mole per liter. This is the molarity of solution containing 5 gram of NaOH in 450 milliliter of solution. Now let us solve second numerical here. In second numerical, calculate the mole fraction of ethylene glycol in a solution containing 20% of ethylene glycol by mass. Here the percentage of ethylene glycol is given by mass. Now let us write the given data here. Here 20%. The 20% of C2H6O2 by mass. What is the meaning of this one? Here by mass, that means here the percentage is given by mass percentage. Here the concentration of solution is expressed in terms of mass percentage. That's why here now let us write what is the meaning of 20% ethylene glycol by mass. According to the definition, 20 gram of ethylene glycol dissolved in how many grams of water? 80 grams of water, or we can write it as 100 gram of solution. Here let us write here 20 grams of C2H6O2 is present in 80 gram of water. 80 gram of water. Now let us write the mass of ethylene glycol and mass of water. Here mass of ethylene glycol is equal to 20 grams. Next here mass of water is also given indirectly. Here mass of water is equal to 80 grams. Here to calculate mole fraction we need number of moles of solute and number of moles of water. That's why first we have to calculate number of moles of ethylene glycol and number of moles of water. Here to calculate number of moles of ethylene glycol and number of moles of water, here you should know molar mass of ethylene glycol and molar mass of water. Here I will write the molar mass of ethylene glycol is equal to 62 grams. Just you add atomic masses of all the elements present in the ethylene glycol. Here there are two carbons. Two carbons means 12 plus 12, 24. 24 plus 6, 30. Here 30 plus oxygen is 2. 30 plus 32, 62 grams. This is the molar mass of ethylene glycol. Next let us write molar mass of water. Here what is the molar mass of water? 18 grams. Now let us calculate number of moles of ethylene glycol. Number of moles of ethylene glycol is equal to, we know formula. What is the formula? Given mass divided by molar mass. Here given mass is what? 20 grams. 20 grams divided by what is the molar mass here? The molar mass is 62 grams. Then you just simplify this one. If you simplify this one, then you will get 0.322 moles. Gram per mole. Here gram get cancelled. Then finally we will get in moles. Next, let us calculate number of moles of water. Number of moles of water is equal to given mass of water divided by molar mass of water. Your given mass is 80 gram divided by 18 gram is equal to how many moles? Just you simplify this one. If you simplify this one, you will get 4.44 moles. This is the number of moles of water and number of moles of ethylene glycol. Now we can easily calculate mole fraction of ethylene glycol. Now let us calculate here mole fraction of ethylene glycol. C2H6O2 is equal to number of moles of a particular component. Here what is the particular component? Here the particular component is the ethylene glycol, because we are going to calculate mole fraction of ethylene glycol. What is the number of moles of ethylene glycol? The number of moles of ethylene glycol is 0.322 moles. Next, divide by total number of moles. Here there are two components, so you have to add number of moles of ethylene glycol and number of moles of water. Here number of moles of ethylene glycol is 0.322 plus number of moles of water is 4.44. Now you just simplify this one. If you simplify this one, nearly will get 0.0675. Here there is no unit for mole fraction. This is the mole fraction of ethylene glycol. Okay, in this way we have to calculate mole fraction. Next, let us solve third numerical. In third numerical, calculate molality of 2.5 gram of ethanoic acid in 75 gram of benzene. Here, to solve this question, first let us write the given data. Here, the mass of ethanoic acid is given. The mass of CH3COOH is equal to 2.5 grams. Next here, the mass of benzene is also given. Mass of benzene is equal to 75 grams. Here he is asking to calculate the molality. Molality means small m. Small m is equal to question mark. Now what is the formula to calculate molality? There are two formulas now. Here mass of solute is given, number of moles of solute is not given. That's why here you have to use a second formula. And also here the mass of solvent is given. Mass of solvent is given in grams. Here mass of solvent is not given in kg. That's why you have to select the second formula. Here what is the second formula here? Molality is equal to mass of solute. Here mass of solute means here CH3COOH. CH3COOH divide by next molar mass of CH3COOH. Molar mass of CH3COOH into here mass of benzene is given in grams. That's why 1000 divided by the mass of benzene in grams. Now let us substitute the values here. Here molality is equal to mass of acetic acid is 2.5 gram divided by molar mass of acetic acid is what? Here how many carbons are there? Total 2 carbons are there. 2 means 12 plus 12, 24. 24 plus 3, 27 plus 1, 28. 28 plus 32. You will get 60 grams into 1000 divide by 75 grams. Now you just simplify. After simplification, nearly will get a 0.556 molality. Molality means it is represented by what? Small m. Or we can write mole per liter or kg. Mole per kg. This is the unit of molality. In this way, we have to calculate molality or mole fraction or molarity. Next, let us discuss about solubility. Here, to understand what is the solubility, let us consider solvent and solute. Here, let us consider solvent in a beaker. This is a solvent, and here this is a solute. Now let us understand what is solubility. At a given temperature, the maximum amount of solute that can dissolve in a given amount of solvent. The maximum amount of solute that can dissolve in a given amount of solvent is called solubility. What is solubility? At a given temperature, the maximum amount of solute can dissolve in given amount of solvent is called solubility. Here I will write definition. At a given temperature, the maximum amount of solute that can dissolve in a given amount of solvent. Is called solubility. Now let us discuss about factors affecting on solubility. Factors affecting on solubility. Here, the solubility mainly depends on three factors. One is the nature of solute and solvent, the second one is temperature, the third one is pressure. Here, the first factor is the nature of solute and the solvent. Next, the second factor is temperature. Next, the third factor is pressure. These three factors decide solubility of solute in solvent. Now let us discuss effect of these three factors on solubility of solid in liquid and solubility of gas in liquid. First, let us discuss about solubility of solid in liquid. The first one is solubility. solubility of solid in liquid. Here, before discussing about the effect of these factors on solubility of solid in liquid, first let us discuss definitions for important terms. Here, the first term is dissolution. Dissolution. What is dissolution? Here, when a solid solute, here let's consider beaker, it contains a solvent. Here, when solid solute is added, when solid solute is added to solvent, here two types of process takes place simultaneously. One is a dissolution, another one is a crystallization. Now let us understand what is a dissolution. Here, when solid solute is added to solvent, here some particles of solute they go into solution and they increase the concentration of solute particles in the solution. When here some particles of solute they enter into the solution, here the concentration of particles increases in the solution. This is called what? Dissolution. Then what is the crystallization? Here after some time what happens here? Here these solute particles. Here out of these some solute particles in the solution they collide with each other and they get separated out from the solution. This is crystallization. These two processes takes place simultaneously in the solution. Now let us write definition for dissolution and crystallization. What is the dissolution? When a solid solute is added to solvent, some solute particles go into solution, and increase concentration of solute particles in the solution. This process is called what? Dissolution. Next, simultaneously there will be crystallization. What is the crystallization? The second term is crystallization. Here, during the dissolution, at the same time, here some solute particles from the solution, they go back to solid state. That means here some solute particles, they collide with each other and they get separated out from the solution. When crystallization takes place, here the concentration of solute particles in the solution decreases. During the dissolution, concentration of solute particles in the solution increases, but during the crystallization, the concentration of solute particles in the solution decreases. Here, initially, the rate of dissolution is more than rate of crystallization, but at particular stage, the rate of dissolution becomes equal to rate of crystallization. When rate of dissolution is equal to rate of crystallization, then we can say that the process is reached the equilibrium state. Here first let us write the definition for crystallization. Crystallization means the some solute particles in solution collide with each other and get separated out of solution. Here during crystallization, here the number of solute particles in the solution decreases. Here when rate of dissolution becomes equal to rate of crystallization, when the rate of dissolution becomes equal to rate of crystallization, then we can say that the process is reached equilibrium state. The process is reached equilibrium state. Once the process is reached equilibrium state, at equilibrium state, the concentration of solute particle in the solution remains constant. At equilibrium state, the concentration of solute particles remains constant. Concentration of solute particles in the solution remains constant. Here, during the dissolution, the concentration of solute particle increases. During the crystallization, the concentration of solute particles in the solution decreases. But when the rate of dissolution becomes equal to rate of crystallization, then the concentration of solute particles in the solution remains constant. Next, let us discuss about a saturated solution. Here, what is a saturated solution? A solution in which no more solute can be dissolved in the solvent at a given temperature is called a saturated solution. A solution in which no more solute can be dissolved in a solvent at a given temperature is called a saturated solution. Next, let us discuss about unsaturated solution. What is the unsaturated solution? What is the unsaturated solution? A solution in which some more solute can dissolve in a given solvent at a given temperature is called the unsaturated solution. A solution in which some more solute can be dissolved in a solvent at a given temperature is called the unsaturated solution. Next class we shall discuss effect of these factors on solubility of solid in liquid. Thank you.